Did you know that while many people believe they'll make it past 90, a staggering 85% actually pass away before turning 82? The surprising part isn't genetics or sheer bad luck. It all comes down to 5 critical mistakes that millions of older adults unknowingly make each and every day. What if I told you that by simply steering clear of these everyday errors, you could possibly add 10 to 15 vibrant, healthy years to your life? Today, you'll meet Dorothy, a 72-year-old retired school principal who uncovered these mistakes just in time. Her story could very well change your life. Mistake number 3 is so widespread that 9 out of 10 people watching this are probably making it right now. And the 5th one? It's a silent killer. So subtle and so simple that even most doctors don't talk about it. Stick with me, because what you're about to learn in the next few minutes might be the difference between joyfully celebrating your 90th birthday or becoming yet another statistic. Let's talk about Dorothy Chen, a lively 72-year-old former school principal from Cincinnati. Just 3 years ago, Dorothy thought she was the definition of healthy. She walked her dog Max every morning, played bridge twice a week, and took pride in living independently. But then came the wake-up call. A minor fall sent her to the hospital, where she learned she had pre-diabetes, dangerously low levels of vitamin D, and early signs of cognitive decline. Her doctor's words still ring in her ears. "Dorothy, if things keep going this way, you may not see 80. That one moment changed her life forever. Determined to find out why so many seemingly healthy seniors were dying earlier than expected, Dorothy went searching for answers. What she found was shocking, and it's something you need to hear. According to the CDC, the average life expectancy is 79. But here's what they don't say. Most people lose their quality of life long before that point. And the worst part? These early declines are, in most cases, totally preventable. Dorothy's sleeping pills were making her groggy during the day, so she was prescribed something to boost her energy, only for that to trigger stomach issues. That led to antacids, which then interfered with nutrient absorption, spiraling into even more problems. The solution? Dorothy took control with something called a medication audit system. She made a master list of everything she was taking, including supplements, and scheduled quarterly check-ins with her pharmacist. She made sure all her doctors communicated with each other before writing any prescriptions. She asked every time, "Is this replacing something or just adding to the list?" She even began exploring non-pharmaceutical alternatives when safe. In just 6 months, under close medical supervision, Dorothy safely cut her medications down from 12 to 5. Her energy came back, her mind felt clearer, and those strange symptoms? Gone. She realized that many of them weren't new conditions at all. They were just side effects. That joint pain she was medicating, a side effect of her cholesterol pills, the insomnia, caused by her blood pressure meds taken too late in the day. Now, Dorothy follows the STAMP protocol every time a new medication is suggested. S. Is this symptom new or just a side effect? T. Tried non-drug solutions yet? A. Are all my doctors aware of this? M. Mix. Will it interact safely with my current meds? P. Plan. Is there an exit strategy for this medication? Are you currently on multiple medications? When was the last time you reviewed all of them with a single healthcare provider? Share your experience in the comments, but don't go anywhere yet, because mistake number 2 is hiding in your kitchen right now. Mistake number 2, the invisible poison in your pantry. 3 years ago, Dorothy thought her pantry looked pretty healthy. Whole grain cereals, low-fat cookies, sugar-free drinks. But in reality, she was unknowingly consuming what geriatric nutritionists call age accelerators, foods that silently speed up aging and spark inflammation. The biggest culprit? Hidden sugars and artificial sweeteners. That healthy granola bar? It had 22 grams of sugar, more than a donut. Her sugar-free drinks were loaded with aspartame, a chemical linked to higher stroke risk in seniors. Even worse, these ingredients were causing insulin spikes that pushed her closer to diabetes. Her turning point? A grocery trip with her daughter, who's a nutritionist. That's when they realized even her whole grain bread was sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Low-fat products were packed with sugar to mask the blandness. Canned soups had sky-high sodium levels, enough to raise blood pressure. Processed meats, filled with nitrates linked to cognitive decline. But the biggest shock? Dorothy was chronically dehydrated and didn't know it. Like many seniors, her thirst signals had weakened with age. She often mistook thirst for hunger, drinking only 2 to 3 glasses of water a day, while regularly consuming dehydrating caffeine and alcohol. This led to fatigue, kidney issues, mental fog, and increased risk of falls. Dorothy completely revamped her kitchen using her simple 5-5-5 rule. No packaged food with more than 5 ingredients. Drink 5 glasses of water by 5 p.m. to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. Eat 5 colors of fruits and vegetables daily. She swapped out packaged snacks for nuts and seeds, sugary drinks for herbal teas and fruit-infused water, and processed meats for lean proteins like chicken and fish. She even ditched white bread for true whole grains, not just those labeled whole grain. Her hydration game changed too. She began her day with a glass of water, carried a bottle marked with hourly targets, drank herbal teas, and snacked on water-rich fruits like watermelon and cucumbers. The result? In just 4 months, her pre-diabetes reversed, her energy levels soared, her skin looked years younger. Inflammation dropped, easing her joint pain. Her kidney function improved significantly. And what surprised her most? Her grocery bill dropped by 30%, all because she stopped spending on pricey processed foods. Take a second right now. Go check just one item in your pantry. How many ingredients does it have? Let us know in the comments. But stay tuned, because mistake number 3 nearly stole Dorothy's independence. Mistake number 3, the mobility mindset death spiral. I'll just be careful, Dorothy told herself after her first fall. She avoided stairs. She stopped walking on uneven ground. She slowly began limiting her movement. Sounds reasonable, right? In truth, it's one of the most dangerous mistakes seniors make. Here's the brutal reality. The fear of falling almost guarantees you will fall. When Dorothy began restricting her movements, her muscles weakened. Dorothy's balance had deteriorated. Her bones were brittle. In just 18 months of being careful, she had declined so much she could barely rise from a chair without help. The statistics were sobering. Seniors who limit activities due to fear of falling are 3 times more likely to fall within a year. Even worse, each week of inactivity ages muscles by half a year. In trying to stay safe, Dorothy was actually accelerating her physical decline. Her wake-up call came when she couldn't lift her 6-year-old grandson. A physical therapist delivered the hard truth. Dorothy, you're 72 with the muscle mass of someone 85. Your protective instincts are killing you. Determined to reclaim her strength, Dorothy began a transformation with the Power of 3 program. It started simply: 3 balance exercises while brushing her teeth, 3 strength moves during TV commercials, and 3 flexibility stretches before bed. She began with basic activities: standing on one foot while holding the sink, sitting and standing from a chair 5 times, gentle toe touches. The progress was remarkable. In week 1, she could barely balance for 5 seconds. By week 4, she held a balance for 30 seconds unaided. By week 12, she was doing single-leg squats. By week 24, she was hiking with her grandchildren. Dorothy learned something powerful. Muscles can grow at any age. Studies show even 90-year-olds can double their strength in 12 weeks. She joined a senior fitness class and discovered that working out socially doubled her consistency. She added functional fitness to her routine, carrying groceries in various ways to build strength, practicing getting up from the floor for fall recovery, walking on different surfaces for balance, and dancing to enhance coordination and joy. But it wasn't just about movement. It was a mental shift. Dorothy stopped avoiding physical challenges and started seeking them. She took the stairs, walked on uneven ground, practiced balancing while cooking, and did chair yoga during shows. Today, Dorothy deadlifts 60 pounds and teaches yoga to other seniors. Her bone density improved by 12%. She hasn't had a single fall in over 2 years and lives fearlessly, traveling, hiking, and playing with her grandchildren. What's one physical activity you've stopped doing out of caution? Share your answer below. But don't go anywhere. Mistake number 4 is the sneakiest of all, and it silently affects 7 out of 10 seniors. Mistake number 4. The social isolation time bomb. When Dorothy retired, she expected peace and quiet. No more stress from her job, no more difficult co-workers or meetings. But within 6 months, she faced a harsh reality. Days would pass without a single meaningful conversation. Her world had shrunk to her house, her dog, and the occasional trip to the grocery store. What Dorothy didn't realize was that social isolation is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of premature death by 50% and doubles the risk of dementia. Loneliness weakens immunity, accelerates aging, and literally kills brain cells. The pandemic made things worse. Her bridge club disbanded, church services moved online, and family visits became screen time. Dorothy found herself talking more to her dog than to people. She started forgetting words, losing track of time. One morning, she couldn't remember whether she'd taken her medication or what day it was. The breaking point came when her daughter found her crying in the kitchen. "I feel like I'm disappearing," she admitted. That's when they looked into the research. Seniors with strong social connections live 22% longer and show 50% less cognitive decline. Dorothy began a connection renaissance. It started with small acts, waving to neighbors, chatting with cashiers, going grocery shopping during senior hours. She joined a book club at the library, started volunteering at the hospital gift shop, and embraced technology to stay in touch. Video calls with her grandkids, online classes, even reconnecting with old friends through social media. The breakthrough came when she created the Tuesday Club, a weekly meetup for isolated seniors in her building. What began as 3 people playing cards grew into a community of 20 seniors sharing activities, support, and friendship. She followed the real connection strategy: R for regular contact with close friends, E for emotional depth. Real conversations, not just small talk, A for active engagement, doing things together, and L for laughter and joy in every interaction. The transformation was dramatic. Her vocabulary improved. Depression lifted without medication. Her blood pressure dropped 15 points. She looked forward to every day. Even her memory rebounded. Dorothy now maintains 3 close friendships with daily contact, 10 weekly acquaintances, one volunteer role for purpose, and one learning group for mental stimulation. Tech became a bridge, not a barrier. She mastered video calls, joined online communities, and even started dating again, 3 years after her husband passed. So, how many days pass without you having a real, meaningful conversation? Be honest, share below, and stay tuned, because mistake number 5 is the one no one talks about, yet it nearly destroyed Dorothy's mind. Mistake number 5. The memory myth massacre. Senior moments. It's normal with age. Old brains just forget. Dorothy believed these myths until the day she forgot her granddaughter's name. She was sure dementia was inevitable. She stopped challenging her brain, assuming forgetfulness was natural. But the shocking truth is, believing memory loss is normal accelerates cognitive decline by 60%. Dorothy's brain, like an unused muscle, had begun to wither. Science tells us that the brain can grow new cells at any age. Neuroplasticity doesn't stop at 60, 70, or even 90. But Dorothy's passive acceptance was shrinking her hippocampus, the memory center, by 2% every year. Things came to a head when she got lost driving to her daughter's house, a route she'd taken for 15 years. She couldn't remember the address, and even the GPS couldn't help. Sitting in a parking lot sobbing, Dorothy realized she was losing herself. That moment launched her into her brain recovery protocol. She created a mental fitness routine, 15 minutes of brain training each morning using apps like Lumosity or Elevate. In the afternoon, she learned something new: Spanish, piano, even painting. At night, she journaled to reflect on her day. Before bed, she read challenging books, not just light fiction. The Never Stop Learning principle guided her. In week 1, she struggled with simple Spanish phrases. By month 1, she could order coffee in Spanish. In 6 months, she was conversing with native speakers and reading novels. Dorothy used powerful memory techniques, the method of Lochi, associating facts with familiar locations, story chains, turning lists into narratives, and teaching others to solidify her knowledge. She embraced dual coding, combining visuals and language to reinforce retention. But the biggest surprise, physical exercise boosted her brain the most. Her daily walks raised levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, by 300%, helping her literally grow new brain cells. She added dance classes, a triple win of coordination, memory, and social fun. Dorothy lives by the smart brain system. Stimulate with new challenges daily, move your body to grow your brain, associate new info with what you already know, repeat and teach to reinforce, track progress to stay motivated. Today, Dorothy is sharper at 75 than she was at 65. She's reading in 2 languages, mentoring others, and even planning to start her own podcast for senior learners. Dorothy's balance had crumbled. Her bones were brittle. In just 18 months of being careful, she declined so rapidly that she could barely rise from a chair without help. The statistics were shocking. Seniors who limit activities due to fear of falling are 3 times more likely to fall within a year. And every week of inactivity can age muscles by 6 months. In her attempt to stay safe, Dorothy was actually accelerating her decline. Her wake-up call? The day she couldn't lift her 6-year-old grandson. A physical therapist gave it to her straight. Dorothy, you're 72, with the muscle mass of someone 85. Your protective instincts are killing you. Determined to turn things around, Dorothy began her transformation with what she called the Power of 3 program. 3 balance exercises while brushing her teeth, 3 strength moves during TV commercials, and 3 flexibility stretches before bed. It started simple: standing on one foot while holding the sink, sitting and standing from a chair, gentle toe touches. The results were stunning. In the first week, she could barely balance for 5 seconds. By week 4, she held her balance for 30 seconds. By week 12, she was doing single-leg squats. By week 24, she was hiking with her grandchildren. Dorothy discovered a vital truth. Muscles can grow at any age. Studies even show that 90-year-olds can double their strength in just 12 weeks. She joined a senior fitness class, where the social setting kept her consistent. She added functional strength to her routine, carrying groceries in different ways, practicing getting up from the floor, walking on uneven terrain, and dancing for coordination and joy. But the biggest change was mental. Dorothy stopped avoiding physical challenges and started seeking them out. She took the stairs, walked on gravel, stood on one leg while cooking, and did chair yoga during TV shows. Today, she deadlifts 60 pounds and teaches yoga to other seniors. Her bone density improved by 12%. She hasn't fallen in over 2 years and lives fearlessly, traveling, hiking, and playing with her grandkids. What's one physical activity you've stopped doing out of caution? Share it below. But don't go anywhere, because mistake number 4 is the sneakiest of all, and it silently affects 7 out of 10 seniors. Mistake number 4, the social isolation time bomb. When Dorothy retired, she looked forward to peace and quiet. No more stress from work, no more meetings. But within 6 months, something frightening happened. Entire days passed without meaningful human interaction. Her world shrunk to her home, her dog, and quick grocery runs. What she didn't know? Social isolation is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises the risk of premature death by 50% and doubles the chances of dementia. Loneliness actually kills brain cells, weakens immunity, and speeds up aging. The pandemic only made it worse. Her bridge club vanished, church went virtual, and family visits turned into video calls. Dorothy found herself talking more to her dog than to people. Words escaped her. Days blurred together. One morning, she couldn't remember if she'd taken her medication or what day it was. The breaking point came when her daughter found her crying in the kitchen. "I feel like I'm disappearing," she whispered. That's when they turned to the research. Seniors with strong social connections live 22% longer and experience 50% less cognitive decline. So Dorothy took action. It started small, waving at neighbors, chatting with store clerks, going grocery shopping during senior hours. She joined a book club, volunteered at a hospital gift shop, and embraced tech to stay connected. Video calls with grandkids, online classes, social media reunions. But the real breakthrough? Dorothy created the Tuesday Club, a weekly meetup for lonely seniors in her building. What began with 3 card players became a group of 20 sharing games, support, and deep friendship. She followed the real strategy. R. Regular contact with close friends. E. Emotional depth, not just small talk. A dash active engagement through shared activities. L. Laughter and joy in every interaction. The impact? Her vocabulary returned. Depression lifted, without meds. Her blood pressure dropped 15 points. Even her memory improved. Today, Dorothy keeps 3 close friendships with daily check-ins, 10 weekly acquaintances, 1 volunteer role, and 1 learning group. Technology became her bridge, not her barrier. She even started dating again, 3 years after losing her husband. So, how many days go by without a real, meaningful conversation? Be honest and share below. Then stay with us, because mistake number 5 is the one no one talks about, and it nearly destroyed Dorothy's mind. Mistake number 5. The Memory Myth Massacre. Senior moments. Old age forgetfulness. Dorothy believed the myths until the day she forgot her granddaughter's name. She was convinced it was dementia. That mental decline was inevitable, so she stopped challenging her brain. But here's the shocking truth. Believing memory loss is normal can speed up cognitive decline by 60%. Like an unused muscle, her brain had begun to wither. But the science tells a different story. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to grow and rewire, doesn't stop at 60, 70, or even 90. Dorothy's passive mindset, however, was shrinking her hippocampus, the brain's memory center, by 2% a year. It all came crashing down the day she got lost driving to her daughter's house, a route she'd driven for 15 years. She couldn't remember the address. GPS couldn't help. Sitting in a parking lot, sobbing, Dorothy realized she was losing herself. That was the turning point. Dorothy launched what she called her brain recovery protocol. Each morning, she spent 15 minutes on brain training apps like Lumosity and Elevate. In the afternoon, she learned something new: Spanish, piano, even painting. At night, she journaled. Before bed, she read challenging books instead of easy fiction. Her motto? Never stop learning. In the first week, she struggled with Spanish basics. By month 1, she could order coffee. By month 6, she was holding conversations. And by year's end, she was reading Spanish novels. Dorothy mastered memory techniques, the method of loci, linking ideas to familiar places, story chains, turning lists into stories, and teaching others to reinforce learning. She used dual coding, mixing visuals and words to boost recall. But the biggest shock, physical movement, was her brain's best friend. Daily walks boosted BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, by 300%, helping grow new brain cells. She added dance classes, combining movement, memory, and social joy. Now Dorothy lives by her smart brain system. S. Stimulate with new challenges daily. M. Move your body to grow your brain. A. Associate new info with what you already know. R. Repeat and teach to reinforce. T. Track progress to stay motivated. At 75, Dorothy is sharper than she was at 65. She's fluent in 2 languages, mentoring others, and planning a podcast for senior learners. Aging didn't shrink her, it awakened her.